Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I'm Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. I'm here to talk about this, what I'm calling the debate hangover this morning, but also going to end it on a good note with an article that I read in the Associated Press today about in the youth in Israel. But we'll get to that in a moment. Uh, yeah. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you all. I was pumped up and ready, had my tea, had my popcorn. I was ready to go the distance. I turned it off about halfway through. I just couldn't do it any longer. You all have seen it by now. You know what happened. And of course, there's a lot of blowback today from both camps. Trump saying, we crucified him. And unfortunately, Spirit gave me this morning as I was preparing to tape, you all. Check it out. We know all of these holding Merrick Garland in contempt for refusing to turn over the tapes from that Bill Hur? I can't remember his first name, but interviews with Biden. But what they're going to do is they're going to take every single moment from that debate where Biden didn't deliver, we were all hoping for the State of the Union Biden to show up, and that did not happen. Lots of reasons why. Interestingly, there were clips I found of Biden afterwards. He went to a watch party and in Atlanta where they were with CNN last night, and he was much more animated. His voice was stronger. I don't know what that was, but I was like, wow, Joe. And you know what? That makes me think, Spirit, would this have gone a lot different had some of this? I'm ready to bring it back on CNN, because let's face it, Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, didn't they come off like AI people? If they were so, the format was so rigid, it was so rehearsed, it didn't work. And I think what happened in terms of going back to why I think Joe Biden seemed much more forceful and animated and powerful at the after party, or the watch party that he went to after the debate, because there were people. There were people. And I understand the need, to try to mitigate chaos and mitigate the noise and being overridden. But the fact that Bash and Tapper were never even allowed, due to this format, to have an exchange with either candidate. They were just, here's the question. And here's the question. And let me repeat the question. There was no soul. There was no meat. There was no substance there. And therefore, I think for a man like Joe Biden, who really is a man of the people, he's about people, it was so, you could see the look in his eyes at sometimes. It was just sort of this, like it was not conducive to him being able to show up as his authentic self. Bottom line, he couldn't be his authentic self in that scenario. Not making excuses for his performance. He had enough time to understand what he was going to be up against. I get that, but the bottom line, he was not allowed to be himself. Trump, because Trump is all about himself anyway, it doesn't matter whether he's in front of thousands or whether he's in a room by himself. Everything is about him. So as long as he had lights, camera, action, as long as he had the camera trained on him, he was able to perform and spew. What we heard was just an absolute string of lies all across the board. But energetically, he came off stronger, more confident, etc., compared to Biden. I don't think there'd be a lot of people who would argue with that energetically. All right, Spirit, would Biden have done better at this had there been a different format in the debate, for the debate? Have the devil? No, we don't have to go too far about what that represents or who that represents. And the Six of Wands, yes. In that situation, Spirit is confirming Six of Wands, victory, energy, power, stamina. He would have, and to be fair, as many other commentators have pointed out in the media, they sort of flip-flopped. They zigzagged. Trump came out in the beginning of the debate more composed, more, seemingly more logical, etc. And then he just went down from there. President Biden did regroup. Horrible beginning, and some really, really sticky spots throughout. But as the night progressed, he did do better. Seemed to come more into himself. The debate just did not serve the American people in general, you all, is what Spirit is telling me. That's what I got from my guides. It just didn't. When I woke up this morning, what I heard was it just didn't move the needle. It provided a lot of fodder for, again, Trump, the MAGA people are gonna, take clips, every little clip that they can find Biden doing at his worst moments during the debate. They're gonna use that. On the opposite end, Trump's gonna get slammed for just an absolute slate of lies. I saw a clip with Gavin Newsom out of California after the debate, who said he was taking notes on what he knew were Trump's lies, and he said he ran out of paper. Right? Ran out of paper. So there's going to be there's a lot for both camps to use in the months to come in terms of what came out of that debate. I want to see as well. I'm going to go ahead and ask now. They are supposed to meet again in September. Spirit, will there be another debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden in September? Will they meet again in September? I don't remember. Maybe you'll tell me if you know in the comments. I don't remember who's hosting it, or even if that's been decided. Knight of Pentacles, that feels yes. And the High Priestess, yes. But there will be some adjustments made. High Priestess, Knight of Pentacles. I'm feeling feisty this morning, by the way. I'm reading from my Black Lives Matter, and I'll explain that in a moment. I think that, yes, the debate will be held in September, but based on what happened last night, there's going to be some adjustments. I think both camps are going to request them, but most especially Joe Biden's camp is going to request them. Will the next debate have a live audience, Spirit? Will the next debate in September have a live audience? Queen of Pentacles. And I'm going to show you the picture there because I feel like that's a yes. Speaking into a mic in front of people. Yes. And I'm not sure. That's Kamala. I feel like that's Kamala who's going to have... There's it. That's Kamala who's going to have a lot of input in regards to the next debate. And also by that time, she will be in high gear as well, because... I always get her as either the Empress or the Queen of Pentacles. By that time, you all, Kamala, we will know who Trump's VP pick is. So Kamala's already going to be in high gear preparing to handle that situation. She's going to have a lot to do with and a lot of input around this second debate. She is a very powerful orator, as we know, her prosecutorial background, etc. So she's going to have a lot to do with this next debate. King of Swords, that's Trump, having been diminished. And the Four of Wands, he's going to see it as, he's going to want it as well. He's going to feel the need to have people in the audience to pump him up. Four of Wands, he's going to see it as his ability to close the deal, seal the deal, etc. But so yes, I don't know, again, if any of you have heard already, I didn't have a chance to look it up, I'm sorry, who's going to host or what where the next debate will take place in September, but that format is going to be different. It will not be done the way it was done last night, all right? Finally, I want to take a look, go to Spirit. I heard distinctly, listening to people like Gavin Newsom, listening to comments from Kamala Harris, listening to even Jill Biden, who made a beautiful statement after the at this Atlanta watch party, after party. And, we already know nobody has seen hide nor hair of Melania Trump, right? she's just not in the picture. And what that says about the dynamic of this man with his supposedly most close person, his spouse, right? That in and of itself. So Joe Biden was there, Pete Buttigieg, there's a lot of people who are going, I'm getting a sense that Spirit, we've talked about the need for surrogates over the last couple of months, and the idea that many surrogates were waiting closer to the election to really, like this summer, over the course of this summer, to really start coming out. But Spirit, I'm asking, ooh, cards are just flying. Okay, that's too many. I'm asking if in the wake of the debate hangover, I'm calling it, if we are really going to see like a swath of more Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, many outspoken Democrats, and even Spirit, will we hear from Republicans who speak out in favor of Joe Biden? Four of Pentacles, they've been holding off on doing that. Seven of Pentacles, they're considering it. It's the need for it across the board. There are conversations that are being had by Pelosi, Schumer, others. I'm hearing even Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, others who understand the need to put different faces, more and different faces. I'm hearing celebrity. I understand that Lady Gaga had some things to say about Trump not too long ago. Knight of Wands. That's a male figure, or no, it's not. It could be male or female, but this is about movement. Knight of Wands. Yes, Spirit is saying knights are about movement, wands is fire. Get lit, action, ready, set, go. There are going to be, in the wake of this, there's already phone calls being made, events being lined up. There are the voice piece for Joe Biden, President Biden, has to become broader, and I think that's exactly what's underway now. He needs help. He cannot be the sole and central, the majority even focus. Nine of Cups. Yes. Absolutely. Spirit is saying absolutely. This was a major wake-up call. And for those who have been sort of slow walking, their ability to be vocal, hold events, be more outspoken, I understand that a lot of President Biden's campaign money has been held for advertising, and they have not really unleashed all of that yet. They've been advertising, but nowhere near what's about to happen as the summer progresses. So you're going to hear a lot more voices, and I'm hearing a lot more celebrity and a lot more youth, like youth meaning 40s, 30s, 20s, of course, but hearing from people who are able to tap into that audience. Trump, in the meantime, Ten of Wands. He's exhausted. He's even getting tired. Knight of Pentacles. He's exhausted. He's moving slower. We're going to see him begin to move slower and slower. There's something about this immunity decision. I didn't plan on reading on that today, but I got to go with what Spirit is giving me. There's something about the Supreme Court immunity decision that's going to really set Trump back. Because once he realizes, Spirit, please. Okay, let me go ahead and read on it, because that's crucial. If the Supreme Court does not grant him presidential immunity, then we are going to see a huge shift in Donald Trump's energy. His energy pattern, his thoughts, his behaviors going to become way more erratic. Hard to imagine, but it's going to even become more erratic. Spirit, the Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. The Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. What is the outcome? The Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. The Magician. The Ace of Swords. The Four of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles. And Judgment. Wow, they're giving me the cards. I want to clarify Judgment. What is the Judgment? The Seven of Pentacles. They're not going to do it. They are. I felt before, I did a reading on this before. Remember, our first card was the Magician. That Ten of Pentacles, I think, is the weight of the decision. And I'm almost feeling like it's going to be a unanimous decision. Feeling a little gray area on that, but I would not be surprised if it is a unanimous decision. Ace of Swords. It is going to be clear, concise, and which it's supposed to be, right? I don't want you to be like, duh. But what I mean is, we will come away from this almost as if, okay, now that's behind us. What's next? Sort of feeling. Four of Pentacles. This has been a real struggle because they have tried, especially with that six part conservative, and three of them directly through Trump. But Amy Coney Barrett has been surprising in some ways, not giving her any flowers, but she has been thoughtful. I think that ultimately that Seven of Pentacles and that Judgment, though, coming together, this is something where there will be language in the opinion that boosts Trump's position and boosts the argument that there is such a thing, or maybe there should be such a thing as presidential immunity. And then I close it out with the Devil. Yeah. But ultimately, in the, when it's weighed out by the Constitution and what the founders meant, I don't think they're going to be able to swing that hammer all the way in the direction that Donald Trump wants it. Spirit, what will be Donald Trump's reaction to the decision when it is handed down by the Supreme Court on immunity? How will Donald Trump react? This will be a clue for us as well. How will Donald Trump react to the Supreme Court's decision on presidential immunity? What will be Donald Trump's reaction to the decision from the Supreme Court on presidential immunity? Queen of Cups. That feels like somebody in his camp. Four of Cups. Disappointment. Cups. Energy around. Of course, he's going to be in his feelings. He's got somebody in his ear. And that's not Melania. There's the Judgment card that's coming in. That's the decision. And what is his mood? What is Trump's mood in the wake of that decision? Ace of Swords comes back with the Devil. He ain't gonna like it. Ace of Swords with the Devil. Okay, so that tells you right there. So then that's why. Thank you, Spirit. That's why I had to go there, because that is when, in leading up to this September debate, we're going to see a very different, I think, version, a very desperate, extremely desperate version of Donald Trump, if he even makes it to the stage. There's a question mark. Some people have raised that question as well, whether his health will hold up. We'll see. But if the debate moves forward in September, you're going to see a really different format, and you're going to see a really different version of Donald Trump. Okay? Moving on, I want to talk to you a few minutes about, on a good note. I want to end this tape on a good note because we need it. We need the feel goods. So I found this article today this morning in the out by the Associated Press. So as you know, the October 7th attack by Hamas at this music festival in Israel. That's what started this whole thing with Gaza. Well, so many of the survivors of that attack have banded together, and there's this organization called the Tribe of Nova, Nova, the Tribe of Nova. They held they held a healing concert yesterday, Thursday, and they said tens of thousands showed up. So their approach is saying, listen, in the wake of all of this, for all of the survivors, there were over, I think, 3,000 people at this music festival, this sort of trance dance. Their plan was to just dance through the night, do their thing, be young people, be free. I'm a child of the 60s and 70s, so that's right. I'm like, yes, children, do your thing. But of course, in the wake of that, there's been so much trauma, and there were stories related to those who managed to escape. One person I read in this story, ran for 12 miles just kept running for 12 miles until she reached a town and found safety there. But just imagine the lingering trauma for that. So this tribe of Nova, they are saying, nope, when we're going to band together, we're going to heal together, we're going to continue to dance together, do what it is that we feel, how we want to show up in the world. And they've added more of a therapeutic component to that. So I understand now at their events they're offering yoga, they have mandalas hanging, they have quiet reflection spaces, they have ice baths, and of course the music, they're doing the trance music and all of that so that they can be free. So this one, I want to close it out by sharing with you a powerful quote that I found. Again, this is a story in the AP News. You can find it. Look up Tribe of Nova. But this woman, Moran Stella Yanai, it says she was snatched from the Nova Festival and held hostage for 54 days. So she was one of the initial hostages, you all. And so she took the stage at this event yesterday. Again, tens of thousands, they said, showed up. And she took the stage and she asked the audience members to close their eyes. And she said, now I'm quoting her, Imagine that all of the hostages are standing in a line, holding hands. Imagine them strong. Imagine them smiling. Imagine their families standing before them. Imagine the happiness that is beginning to well up inside. Raise your hands up to the sky, high and strong. Open your eyes, believe, and dance. This from a former hostage. This from a survivor of that Hamas attack, right? Believe, open your eyes, believe, and dance. Imagine. For those of us who are in spiritual circles and communities, we talk about manifestation. We talk about setting intentions. We talk about our focus. We talk about energy flows where focus goes, right? In the wake of this debate and all of the blah, blah that's being said about it, I'm there. I had to turn it off. I couldn't do it. But it is incumbent upon us to decide what type of attitude we want to take going forward. I am not in any way trying to make a correlation between what we are facing here with the election in America to what these youth have faced and continue to face in their trauma, in their recovery from the Hamas attack. Two different things. But I am talking about energy, and I am talking about a conscious decision of how you put forward energy and what type of energy you choose to adapt in the face of trying times. My friends, we are in trying times like none other. Going back to, and I said earlier, I was going to tell you why I chose this Black Lives Matter. In my community tab, I shared a post. There's a movie, there's a clip that's coming out. There's a something about uniting, and I should have taken a picture of it, but there's a new documentary that's coming out. It relates to the Power of the People movement, and especially going back to 2020 in the wake of George Floyd's murder and the Black Lives Matter movement. It's not so much about rehashing, in my opinion, that circumstance and what happened then, but it is about an energy of the people. It is about tapping into a groundswell of the energy of people who say we will unite. And so when we're thinking about women's reproductive rights, when we're thinking about people of color, when we're thinking about immigration and how to be fair about it, how to treat people, there were really incredible photos that were being shared from watch parties around the country. None more powerful perhaps than one that I saw in Tijuana, where there were people being held, some people seeking asylum, Mexicans. For a woman who was quoted, has been there now for over 9 months, sleeping in this crowded room with nothing but tents. There's no space between the tents. Can you imagine living that way? But again, this is the sacrifice people are willing to make to try and become a part of the American fabric. That's a whole other thing, and a whole nother taping. But my point is, what is the energy that we, the people, are going to adapt in the coming months as we prepare to go into the election in November? That's the question That's what I want us to all sit with and think about. Please look up that article on these young people, Tribe of Nova in Israel. Very, very inspirational. Take really good care. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.